The following is a class on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 25, text number 19 to 30, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on 20th January 1967 in San Francisco.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the Mayavadi sannyasi, they are convinced with the argument and presentation of Lord Chaitanya, and from that day, not only the sannyasis but also the people in general, they also become very much admirer of Lord Chaitanya. So, লোকের সংকট প্রায় সে দেখিতে নানা শাস্ত্রে পণ্ডিতা সে শাস্ত্র বিচারিত. And because he defeated the Mayavadi philosopher, many other scholars also began to meet him personally and talk with him, argue with him. So this was going on naturally. Whenever a man becomes prominent, so many others they come to challenge him. That is natural sequence. সর্বশাস্ত্র খণ্ডী প্রভু ভক্তি করে সার সযুক্তিক বাক্যে মন ফিরায় সবার. The speciality of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was that he used to put very sound arguments and he used to defeat his opponent in such a way that they were satisfied. They were not inimical. And with the evidence of Shastra, not that argumentum baculum. He was putting reasonable arguments and evidences from Shastra, scripture. Sarva Shastra Khandi Prabhu Bhakti Kare Sar. And the beauty was that he was defeating all other arguments against devotional service. He was establishing only the God is great and we are meant for serving him. On this basis, he was arguing and he was defeating others. উপদেশ লইয়া করে কৃষ্ণ সংকীর্তন সর্বলোকে হাসে গায়ে করে নর্তন. And the whole city becomes charged with Krishna Kirtan. Everyone began to dance and sing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. They may understand or not understand, but the infection was there, that everyone was chanting. প্রভুরে প্রণত হইল সন্ন্যাসীর গণ আত্মবদ্ধে গোষ্ঠী করে ছাড়িয় দয়া. Now, so far the sannyasis were concerned, they practically gave up their so-called Vedanta study and this simply began to discuss on the sublime presentation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they are enjoying that. প্রকাশানন্দের শিষ্য এক তাহার সমান সভা মধ্যে কহে প্রভুর করিয়া সম্মান. So after this incident, one of the chief disciples of Prakashananda Saraswati, he stood up and began to glorify Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the following words. Sri Krishna Chaitanya hai sakshat Narayan, ব্যাসসূত্রে অর্থে করেন অতি মনোরম. Amongst the Mayavad sannyasi, the etiquette is to address one another as Narayan. They say Namo Narayan. Everyone is Narayan. I address you, Namo Narayan, and you address me, Namo Narayan. A mutual praising society of Narayan. Narayana eko asit. In the Vedas, it is said the only Narayan was before creation. So after creation, all these living entities became Narayan. This is that philosophy that there is no separate Narayan. Now Narayan has manifested pantheism. Narayan has manifested himself in so many varieties. And the varieties is closed, then again Narayan remains. So these Mayavadi sannyasins, they address one another as Narayan, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also sannyasi. So he is addressing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Narayan, as the chief Narayan. Nitya Nityanami, Chaitanya Chaitanaya. As it is stated in the Kathopanishad, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the leader of all other personalities. He is also person, we are also person, but he is leader. Chaitanya, of all living entities, he is the supreme living entity. Of all eternals, he is the supreme eternal. So, the disciple of Prakashananda Saraswati, he addressed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the chief Narayan, Sakshat Narayan. We are all imitation Narayan, but you are the chief Narayan. ব্যাস সূত্রে অর্থ করেন অতি মনোহর. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's special qualification is that he presents Vedanta Sutra in such a nice way that it is wonderful. উপনিষদের করেন মুখ্যার্থ ব্যাখ্যান শুনিয়া পণ্ডিত লোকে জুড়ায় মন কান. And he presents the import of Upanishad in such a way that everyone becomes pleased by hearing his explanation. সূত্র উপনিষদে মুখ্যার্থ ছাড়িয়া আচার্য কল্পনা করে আগ্রহ করিয়া the so long Shankaracharya, he has imagined some meaning, and therefore that is not so pleasing as much as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's interpretation, not interpretation, direct explanation. আচার্য কল্পিত অর্থ যে পণ্ডিত শুনে মুখে হয় হয় করে হৃদয় না মানে. So we belong to this Mayavadi sect. Although we hear the Sharirak Bhashya of Shankaracharya and we say yes, yes, but actually it does not appeal to us. There is the important point of Mayavadi philosophers. Every one of them, they say that I am God, but actually he thinks within himself, what kind of God I am. That is the position. But for argument's sake, they will play so many things in support of their views. But actually, any sane man will think that what kind of God I am. I cannot defend myself from the slightest attack of this material nature, and still I claim. But they cannot admit, frankly. They think like that. And that is being admitted here by the chief disciple of Prakashananda Saraswati, that although we say yes, this is, but it does not appeal to our mind. He is frankly saying, Sri Krishna Chaitanya বাক্য দৃঢ় সত্য মানে কলিকালের সন্ন্যাসে সংসার নাহি রে. Now he says that what Lord Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya has said, that is very nice. And we simply accept this sannyas order, that will not help us. Simply by accepting changing the garment, colored garment, and without understanding anything properly or dealing properly, that is not the way for salvation. Because according to Shankaracharya, anyone who accepts sannyas, he becomes immediately Narayan, God. He immediately becomes God. Oh. So that is being refuted by one of the disciples. This is nonsense. Simply by accepting and changing the garment, I become a God. This is not. Actually, one has to understand things as they are. So therefore, the explanation as given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is right. হরের নাম শ্লোকের যেই করিলা ব্যাখ্যান সেই সত্য সুখদার্থ পরম প্রমা. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has explained before them that my Guru Maharaj saw me a fool, therefore he has asked me the chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So this explanation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very nice. Bhakti bina mukti nahe bhagavate kahe. Kulikale namabhase sukhe mukti hai. So far salvation is concerned, nobody can be liberated without bhakti, without devotional service. Bhakti bina, without devotion or without love of God, without attaining. That is the verdict of Srimad Bhagavatam. So long one is not a surrendered soul to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no question of liberation from this material world. Bhagavad says, Sriyas sitting bhakti mudapashati vivo. Here is a nice verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said there that Sriyas sitting, the real path of salvation, Sriyas sitting, bhakti, that is devotional service, Krishna consciousness. Sriyas sitting bhakti, bhaktim udassati vibhu. If somebody gives up the path of devotional service, krishanti kevala bodhalabdhaye, and waste time simply for understanding that this is not Brahma, this is not Brahman. That is the way of Mayavadi philosophy. They scrutinize that this is Maya and this is Brahma. Therefore they are called Mayavadi. Simply, what is not Brahma, they say it is one, but simply they distinguish this is Maya, this is Brahma. Why this is Maya, this is where from the Maya comes. Then it becomes dualism. Actually, although they say that we are monists, one, but they explain that this Maya is illusion. Maya is temporary and actually everything is one. Eka Brahma Ditya Nasti. That the Vaishnava philosophy is that yes, it is. This is called Vishishtadvaitava. We also say yes, one, but one in variety. There are varieties. We don't say that Maya is something external. Maya is there. Maya is there. It is not external. It may be inferior, as it is explained in the Bhagavad Gita, that material energy, the material nature is inferior. That does not mean inferior Some part of my body is inferior. That does not mean it has no existence. It is not mithya. They say everything mithya. Mithya means false. So, inferior part of my body there may be, but it is not false. Similarly, the Maya is not false. It is temporary. So, the Bhagavad says, simply to understand this is not Brahma, this is Maya, this is not Brahma, if you go on speculating, and without any interest for devotional service or Krishna consciousness, then Tesamayushu kleshalai vasushyate. So their advancement in self-realization is simply troublesome. Troublesome. They simply take the trouble of discriminating that this is Maya, this is Brahma, this is false, this is reality. Because they have no other engagement for a devotee. There are so many engagements, but the Mayavadi philosopher takes it for granted that these devotees' activities, they are cooking for Krishna, or they are offering prasadam to Krishna, they are decorating Krishna, or they are singing for Krishna, glorifying Krishna. These are all Mayic activities, they say. Because this Bhakti Marga is not appealing to them. They simply want to. Similarly, the Bhaktas also say that you are simply wasting time. Real thing is Krishna. Just engage yourself in the service of Krishna. They also say Krishna is also Maya. According to them, Krishna is also Maya. And Krishna and Bhagavad Gita says that they are fools. How? Avajananti mana mudha. The mudha mean the fools. They minimize me. They decry at me. Avajananti mana mudha manisim tanva. Because I come as incarnation, they were the fools they consider, or they deride at me. Param bhavam ajanant. They do not know the background of the Supreme Personality of God. Mama bhuta maheswaram. Krishna said, I am the Supreme Lord. They do not know. Who do not know? The Mayavadis. They do not know. So therefore, their labor of love for discriminating what is Maya and what is not Maya is simply troublesome. Tesam kleshala eva ushishyate nannat jatha sula tusavaghatina. Just like the skins of rice, when it is taken, there is no more grain. So the grain is separated from the skin by beating. There is a beating machine in India. That is the crude original way of separating the grain from the skin. So when the skin is out from the grain, if you simply beat the skin, no more there is grain. Similarly, if you make minus Krishna, then the study of Bhagavad Gita is simply waste of time and labor of love. That's all. Not Krishna. This means, this Mayavadi philosophy means simply taking trouble. Bhagavad Gita is all full of simply Krishna. To understand this, it is a science of Krishna. And if somebody says it is not Krishna, then what is there? Simply waste of time and labor. The same thing. The grain is taken out. Simply the skin. Enjoy this skin. What is there in the skin? So this is the verdict of Srimad Bhagavatam, that Sriyasiting bhakti udasrate vivo krishanti je ke bolo bodhalabdhaya. Bodhalabdhaya. They stress on knowledge. What is this knowledge? You can talk on any insignificant thing for many years. That is not knowledge. Just like at the present modern civilization, so many nonsense articles without any utility, or volumes of books are sold in the market. There is nothing, no substance. Take for this newspaper, especially in your country, volumes of papers in the news. Just after glancing over, it is thrown out. That's all. No more use. Just as the newspaper is published early in the morning, and just in the afternoon, it is useless. It is the heap of paper. Because there is no substance. Nobody can take any interest. But see, Bhagavad Gita, it is 5,000 years before it was published. A few pages only. And how much care is being taken after Bhagavad Gita? Because there is substance. Similarly, if you don't accept the substance, simply if you are busy with the skin, in Bengal it is called chobra niye tanat. Chobra means skin. That we have seen coconut. The coconut is covered by heavy, what is called fibers. So if you give up the coconut and simply quarrel with the fibers, what profit is there? There is no profit. Similarly, if you give up God or Krishna, who is the essence of everything, and you make your advancement in scientific knowledge, in physics and chemistry, and so many departments of knowledge, according to Bhagavad, this is simply waste of time. Simply waste of time. But what will gain? Kevala Bodhalabdha. Suppose you understand your human form of life, the whole constitution of the universe, that is stated in Bible also. If somebody understands everything but not God, then what does he gain? Similarly, there is another verse in Srimad Bhagavatam that one may be very much expert to count even the atoms of the universe. You smash the universe and grind it into powder, and you just count all the atoms. That is possible. But still, it is not possible to understand the Supreme Personality of God. Therefore, who understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he understands everything. Tasmini vijñāte sarvamevam vijñātam bhavanti. If somebody understands the Supreme Absolute Truth, Personality of Godhead, he understands everything. Because he is everything. So, we should not make progress in the negative way. Leaving aside, just like you do not know what you are studying this body. If I do not find out who is the proprietor of the body, who is sitting in the body so that this body is so nice, fresh, and working and moving, that you do not find. But you simply, you're studying what is called physiological condition, anatomical condition, and metabolism, these or that. There are so many big names. But the proprietor of the body, the doctors are sitting, analyzing. But as soon as the soul passes. They cannot explain what happened. What happened to this metal? I am to say anatomy and physiology. They stand fools. So this is going on. The essence of the thing, the essence of the manifestation, cosmic manifestation, they are missed. They're simply analyzing the outward power. That's all. That sort of analysis is compared here as simply beating the bush. That's all. It has no value. All right.